Welcome to Salad with a Side of Fries. I'm your host, Jen Trepic, talking wellness and weight loss for real life. We're here to clear up the myths, misinformation, bad science, and marketing to teach you how to eat and how to cheat. Are you ready? I'm having salad with a side of fries. This week, we're talking about Aloha bars. Maybe you've tried them, maybe you've seen them. This one, I saw somebody eating them and I made a note, as I do. And I figured, as I do, it would behoove us to look at them together, right? So that's what we do this week's, bite-sized bonus episode. So I always start with their website, and I'm always curious about the marketing, right? The name Aloha Bars, too, had me a little intrigued. Like, what's their gimmick, right? Like, what's their niche? Is it for surfers? Is it all of the ingredients come from Hawaii? So, all right, enough guessing. Look to their website. It says, "Welcome to the deliciously satisfying world of Aloha. Some things are delicious, some things are satisfying. Aloha combines mouthwatering flavor with protein that packs a punch, all in one organic plant-based bar." Okay, there's a lot in that sentence. We'll see if we agree with all of that when we get to the label. Then their website shows a ton of press, like every publication from Forbes to the Post, Eat This, Not That, Sports Illustrated, Women's Health. And it's interesting because, listen, press is press and I'm all for it and, promote it. But a lot of that you can pay for, especially with these kinds of brands. So, interesting, right? And, with the savvy crowd of Salad with a Side of Fries, we're going to keep exploring, right? So then they say, get more with your protein, mouth-watering, delicious flavors with 5 grams of sugar or less, protein, healthy fats, and fiber for a satisfying, convenient snack. I mean, they are speaking our language, right? That's for sure. So then they show all the badges. So they have USDA organic, non-GMO project verified, certified vegan, fair trade certified. And it's interesting. This came up recently with another bar, and I predicted that all of these badges would make them pretty expensive. So that's probably the case here too. So just a note to everybody on that one. I was looking to try to see more about the company itself. So I read the section on their site that explains the Aloha Way, which is, so they're a certified benefit corporation, which is interesting. So I actually looked into B Corp status for one of my ventures, and it's basically a for-profit company, but you have to do lots of paperwork and reporting like that of a nonprofit. And, on our side, we ultimately decided not to do it for us. But I think that, again, could potentially drive some of the cost because there is just all of this added overhead of a B Corp. Anyway, they talk about using their business as a force for good. They note that it's owned by the employees and also became a public benefit corporation to prioritize social good. Now, this to me is speaking very much to Gen Z. They talk about focusing on governance, transparency, and accountability, being customer-centric, committed to becoming climate neutral. And then the organizations that they support are, and I hope I'm not butchering this name, it's called Kupu, I think, Hawaii's leading nonprofit working to foster the next generation of environmental and cultural stewards. And the other organization they support is called Conscious Alliance, a leading nonprofit whose mission is to help families and children experiencing food insecurities. So it's interesting. Make of that what you will. I'm sitting here going, okay, good to know. Let's get to the label, right? So I made a note of the flavor that I saw somebody eating, which was the chocolate peanut butter flavor protein bar. On their website, they had a lot more products and bars than I realized, but we're just going to go with the one that I noted. So it's the peanut butter chocolate chip is the official name. Apparently it's a bestseller, they tell us. All right, going past more marketing language, peanut butter chocolate chip, serving size, 1 bar, 240 calories, 12 grams of fat, which breaks down into 3 grams of saturated fat, 1.5 grams of polyunsaturated fat, and 7 grams of monounsaturated fat. Then there's 24 grams of carbs, of which there are 10 grams of fiber, 5 grams of sugar, 3 of those are added sugar, and then 14 grams of protein. The micronutrients are basically negligible. We have 1 milligram of iron, 16 milligrams of calcium, and 173 milligrams of potassium. So barely anything. And before we go to the ingredients, though, this is protein and fiber as we always talk about. So 10 grams of fiber is fantastic. 14 grams of protein is like 2 ounces, which is like a snack size amount of protein. The fat is a little higher than we'd really like, but we'll see what the sources of fat are and then decide on that one. And yes, the net carb is also a little higher than we'd like at 14. With that said, though, we have 10 grams of fiber and the fat. We're potentially balancing out those higher net carbs. What I will say, though, is that with this combination of protein, fiber, quality fat, you could potentially, 2 to 3 hours of satiety on this one rather than 1 to 2 hours like many other snacks. All right. So this to me is very promising. So let's look at the ingredients here. I'll note every ingredient has the little asterisk that means it's organic. So, okay, ingredients: peanuts, tapioca fiber, protein blend that's brown rice protein and pumpkin seed protein, chocolate chips that are made of chocolate, cane sugar, cocoa butter, vanilla extract. Then we have tapioca syrup, vegetable glycerin, roasted pumpkin seeds, sea salt, and monk fruit. So we see the added sugar, right? There's added sugar in the chocolate chips, the tapioca syrup, and the monk fruit. The fat is coming from peanuts, cocoa butter in the chocolate chips, and the pumpkin seeds. So I'm going to guess the majority of that is the peanuts. Again, we can decide if this works for us. It's probably giving us more omega-6s than omega-3s, but still. The brown rice protein is usually not my favorite, to be honest, but in this combination with the fiber and the fat, it really doesn't bother me. And we're getting, 14 grams of protein, which is like 2 ounces, which, for a lot of bars is an improvement. So I think I'm a fan of this one, right? Based on the nutrition facts and the ingredients, looks pretty good. Now, I haven't given it the taste test. And like I said, with all the badges on there, the B Corp status, the climate neutral to organic, non-GMO, vegan, all the things, this one may not be the most economical option. I don't know that for a fact. But I will say I'm not often impressed by the nutrition facts and the ingredients, and here I am. So I think I'm going to try these. If you've tried them, let me know which flavor. They have some really interesting flavors on there too. Of course, be sure to read the label of whichever flavor you try because we only looked at one. And based on this one, I'm impressed and looking forward to tasting it, but we also know every flavor can be different. So read those labels, report back. Let us know. If you're listening on Spotify, you can leave a comment below, or on YouTube, or send a message on social media or through the website. I want to know if you tried Aloha bars, what flavors, and what you thought too. Well, as always, everybody, I'm your host, Jen Trepeck. Connect with me on all social media. I am at Jen Trepeck, JENNTREPECK. Website is asaladwithasideoffries.com. Pick your platform, send a message. I truly love hearing from you. This is the easiest way to learn more about working with me as your health coach or to send questions, ideas, and takeaways. And friends, if you are not already, join our membership program by going to glow.fm/saladwithasideoffries. This shows your support for this podcast, this community, and your health. You'll get this week's recipe for the roasted vegetable salad for hormone balance. Well, friends, that's it for today's episode of Salad with a Side of Fries. Congratulations for making yourself and your health a priority. Thanks so much for joining us. Be sure to click subscribe or follow on your favorite podcast platform. Share us with a friend, and we'll be back next week. Always remember, you deserve it, and you are worth it. Happy healthy.